The Higher Education Ministry is calling for calm to be restored at universities across the country, with a focus mainly on Wits University. This week was marked by protests at the university, with students calling for the scrapping of historical debt in order to register, among other issues. Ahmed Kajee is at Wits University, where it appears calm, of course, this Sunday morning. What has come out of the ministry? Ahmed, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks very much, Dudu. And we are currently at the Empire Road entrance to Wits University. This is one of the entrances which was blocked over the course of last week, with students demanding the registration of their fellow colleagues, their fellow students, and this along this particular road, on this exit, you'd make your way to the main Empire Road, main road, and that's just one of those instances where we had seen those major road blockages, and we then had police coming in to perhaps just restore order. Traffic was blocked throughout this area, and this actually took place at a time just around 4 p.m. last week, towards Wednesday and Thursday, and this subsequently had resulted in a backlog of traffic heading onto the M1 South Highway and to an extent the M1 North Highway. So these were just some of the major challenges facing the area around the university as well. Speaking towards what the students were actually calling for, it's understood that there's about 6,000 students or so which haven't been registered. Registration had closed on Friday, and this was due to historical debt, and they also degrees are not being completed as well, and unfortunately they haven't passed specific subjects and were not able to register. What we do understand is the university last week saying that they do think, or at least assume, that some students are not completing their degrees intentionally, so that they will continue to receive this financial aid scheme funding and those necessary stipends which they normally would then receive as well. So they're saying that that may not necessarily be possible as well. But just speaking to some of the pointers coming out from the Higher Education Minister, Bladin Monday, just coming out with a statement late last night and also again earlier this morning. He says that 45,000 Rand NSFAS stipend, which is meant to be distributed to students, that figure is going to be revised at least for the 2024 academic year as well. In terms of the pass rate for financial aid schemes to be passed on to students, that is around 55%. That's also expected to be revised heading into the new year as well, to ensure that students can get the registration going as well. But speaking about this year coming through from the Higher Education Ministry, we had seen these protests out at the University of Witwatersrand. There were also rumours and reports that this may also extend out to the University of Johannesburg, and unfortunately across to different parts of the country as well. Historical debt and the lack of registration is an issue which has plagued universities across many years, perhaps over the last 5 to 10 years, and seems to be something that may actually continue depending on the resources, or the limited resources rather, that these universities have as well. But the main call from the Higher Education Ministry is to ensure that these universities can continue running as per usual, that classes aren't going to be disrupted. But the main point of contention, at least between university management and the Student Representative Council, is to just ensure that these students who haven't been registered, to allow them to register regardless of their outstanding debt which they do owe the university. That seems to be the main point of contention, and this is now turning into a legal battle between the university and as well as the SRC, with them calling the university, sending out legal documentation to the SRC, calling on the students to desist from all of their protest behavior which they have seen. The Representative Council of Students have now subsequently issued their statement saying that they will be intending to render the university ungovernable heading into the new week. We are still waiting to see what they will be saying. They're expected to hold a briefing later on this evening. But in terms of what we are seeing this morning here at the university, things are relatively quiet. There isn't anyone or any major movement from security coming in. They are patrolling and carrying out their respective operations. But in terms of what we're expecting tomorrow following this last week's events, we'll wait and see after we get an update this evening. Judo.
Ahmed Kajee, thank you very much for that update. We'll touch base with you then.